I still remember it clearly. One autumn morning a few years ago, I was sitting in my clinic when one of my longtime patients, Helen, age 68, walked in. She used to be a lively woman, loved her morning walks, gardening, and spending time with her grandkids. But that day, her eyes looked tired, her voice was softer, and she said to me, "Doctor, I just don't feel like myself anymore. I eat less, I don't sleep well, and I don't even feel like going outside." I looked at her for a moment, then smiled gently and said, "Helen, maybe your body is trying to send you a message." I share this story not because it's unusual, but because I've heard something similar hundreds of times over the past 30 years. When we reach our 50s, our bodies begin to change, quietly, subtly. But instead of seeing it as a decline, I want you to see it as a symphony that's simply changing tempo. Slower, more thoughtful, yet still full of life if we know how to listen. Have you ever felt that way? You wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, and wonder, am I still the same person I used to be? Or maybe your body whispers to you that it needs something different now. Not another race, but a pause. A moment to breathe, to rest, to eat more gently, and to smile again. After working with thousands of patients over 50, I've realized something important. True health isn't just about the numbers on your test results. It's about your attitude toward life every single day. I've seen people eat perfectly, but carry so much anger and worry, and they still get sick. And I've met others who sometimes enjoy a piece of cake, laugh often, and love deeply, and they stay vibrant for years. Science now tells us what wisdom has long known. Positive emotions strengthen our immune system, slow down inflammation, and even protect our hearts. I once asked a 74-year-old man what his secret was to living well. He smiled and said, "I don't take supplements, Doc. I just talk with my wife every morning, have breakfast with her, and feel thankful I woke up today." I smiled back, and in that moment, I realized that sometimes the best medicine doesn't come from a pharmacy, but from the way we choose to live. Many people think that after 50, health only goes downhill, but in truth, this can be the time when we rebuild both our body and our mind. We can learn how to eat again, not to restrict ourselves, but to understand what our body truly needs. We can learn how to sleep again, not to force it, but to let the mind rest. And above all, we can learn how to live again, with gratitude, patience, and joy in each breath. There's something I often tell my patients. Your body is the only home you truly own. If you don't take care of it, who will? It sounds simple, but it's one of life's hardest lessons. So many people spend their lives caring for others, for their children, their work, their families, and they forget to care for their oldest friend, themselves. Then one day, when their body starts knocking on the door, they realize health can't be borrowed and time can't be refunded. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to remind you that your body is still listening to you. Every small act, a balanced meal, a full night's sleep, a short walk under the morning sun, is a powerful kind of medicine, more effective than any pill. And I know there are days you feel tired. Maybe you're dealing with illness, or loneliness, or memories that weigh you down. But please remember, health isn't just the absence of disease, it's the presence of peace within you. When you learn to listen to your body, you also learn to listen to life. When you choose to smile, you're teaching every cell in your body that we still have the strength to live well. And when you believe that joy has no age limit, you become younger than any number on a chart. I say this not just as a doctor, but as a man who's lived 6 decades, who has also woken up to a body that feels a little slower, who has known fear, who has faced sleepless nights. But through it all, I've learned that aging is not the end. It's the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter where we live slower, deeper, and more gratefully. So if you're hearing my voice right now, I just want to tell you one thing. Take care of yourself the way you've always cared for everyone else. Start again with your meals, your sleep, your breath, and your smile. Because in the end, health is not a destination, it's a journey, one that you deserve to walk in peace and happiness. I want you to imagine this. It's late at night. You're lying in bed. The house is quiet, but your mind won't stop running. Thoughts, worries, unfinished plans, old memories that won't fade. Many people tell me, "Doctor, I just can't sleep. The more I try, the more awake I feel." And I often tell them, sleep doesn't come when you chase it. It comes when you allow yourself to rest. When we were young, sleep came easily. It was effortless. But after 50, it becomes a precious gift. Studies show that people who sleep fewer than 6 hours a night are more likely to develop heart disease, diabetes, and memory decline. But more importantly, a lack of sleep exhausts the soul. One of my patients, Arthur, 72 years old, had struggled with insomnia for years. He tried everything, sleeping pills, herbal tea, meditation, until one day he said to me, "I realized my problem wasn't that I couldn't sleep. It was that I didn't allow myself to rest." So he began turning off the TV earlier, putting his phone away, listening to soft music, and every night he wrote down 3 things he was grateful for. And after a few weeks, he smiled and said, "Doctor, sleep has finally come back to me, as gently as an old friend." You see, sleep isn't just rest for the body, it's healing for the mind. And when you sleep well, everything else starts to change. Your energy, your mood, your peace within. Now let's talk about nutrition, something everyone knows about, yet so few truly understand. After 50, your body doesn't absorb nutrients the same way it used to. You may eat plenty, but still lack what you need. I often tell my patients, let your food be your medicine before your medicine becomes your food. You don't need to eat perfectly. You just need to eat wisely. More greens and fruits, more fish and plant protein, less sugar and processed food. A balanced meal is one that makes you feel light, not heavy. I once met a woman named Maria, 66 years old, suffering from chronic joint pain and gastritis. She told me, "I've been taking pills for years, but nothing helps." I suggested she make small changes: less red meat, more fish, olive oil instead of butter, and more water. 3 months later, she returned and said, "Doctor, not only does my body feel better, but my mind feels clearer." That's when I told her, food doesn't just feed your body, it feeds your emotions. And if you ask me what matters most, I'd say, your attitude toward life. I've seen 2 people, same age, same diagnosis, same treatment, but completely different outcomes. One believes he will recover, smiles often, stays engaged with life. The other gives up, complains, isolates himself. The first one always heals faster. Why? Because the mind is the greatest doctor you will ever have. Your body listens to your thoughts. If you tell it every day, "I'm getting weaker," it will believe you. But if you say, "I'm healing, I'm still strong, I'm grateful for this day," it will believe that too. Science calls this the mind-body connection. I call it the healing power of gratitude and hope. I once had a patient, Charles, 79, who had a mild stroke. After his recovery, he told me, "Doctor, I'm not afraid of aging anymore. Every morning I still make coffee, watch the sunrise, and thank life for another day of light." I looked at him and thought, that is what youth truly looks like. So if you're watching this video, I want you to remember 3 simple things. Sleep enough so your soul can rest. Eat wisely so your body can be nourished. And live positively so your heart can heal. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's a way of honoring the life you've been given. Because in the end, health isn't just about how long you live. It's about how you live each day. You know, after all these years of practicing medicine, I've come to realize something very simple. Health isn't a destination we arrive at. It's a lifelong conversation between your body, your mind, and your heart. Every meal you choose, every thought you nurture, every hour of rest you give yourself, they are all words in that conversation. And the tone of it, whether it's gentle or harsh, patient or hurried, will decide how your body responds to life itself. So tonight, when you turn off the lights, I want you to whisper to yourself, "I've done my best today. My body deserves peace. My heart deserves rest." Because that single moment of kindness toward yourself, That is where healing begins. And if these words or the stories I've shared today remind you to take better care of yourself, even in one small way, then I believe this video has done its job. But I also want this message to reach more people, people who may be too tired, too busy, or too discouraged to remember that they still matter. So if you found something meaningful here today, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to this channel. Because together, we can build a community where aging isn't something to fear. It's something to live fully, gracefully, and gratefully. I'm Dr. Robert. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.